What's up, everyone? Joe. This is a very special guest of mine, Hunter. I met Hunter on New Year's Eve, so we have not known each other for that long. Hunter was the first person that I read my book to who really had no idea what the fuck was going on, or had any idea about the story or any background about myself. So it was a really great experience to learn from him and really just, he took notes during the whole thing and was really involved and engaged. So I'm super appreciative for him. So I'm glad that the world gets to meet him. We're going to have a great conversation today, and we're going to talk about our book, man. Talk about some great things about it, some things that he liked. Just have a conversation. So I wanted to start it off with, Hunter. What was your favorite part of the book?
Um, I, I think it really is the overall message of it. I think it's personally I connected with it so well on such a deep level. Just just the message in and of itself about love and about really finding your calling through that love, that true authentic self. I think you embody that really well. I think the book was a perfect manifestation of like who you are, and that's just what I really like. Just the overall ideology of it, I totally agree with. And it's something that I've experienced too myself over the past really year and a half, 2 years.
Beautiful. I would, I 100% agree. The beauty is in the message, right? The story is awesome, but the beauty is in the message of love. And I think for me, that discovering that love is what opened up, my creative outlets, my entrepreneurial outlets, and I'm sure you can speak to over your journey in the past year. That's kind of been your doorway as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, man. Who was your favorite character? What storyline was your favorite?
I guess it sounds kind of cliche, but it was you. It was the
Yeah.
main character. It's like just the way that the resiliency, the way you like overcame so many of the challenges, and just how I don't know, man. You got so many freaking setbacks and so many like revelations that you were able to overcome. It just, I mean, it's just perfectly embodied to me just what every human experiences to some degree, and it's the human condition. It's like just the way you, I guess, overcame a lot of those things. Um, it's such a great story, and I think it speaks to everyone. I think you speak to everyone, through the story. People find a little bit that they find themselves actually as they read it. And I did that. As I read, I really found a lot of myself in that. And you, as the main character.
That was honestly like my main goal with it. And that's my main goal for you guys is I want people to be able to relate to this. This is not just a story about cancer, so you don't have to feel like you have gone through something cancer, even something as serious as cancer. It's any hardship that you've gone through, any time period of self-reflection, anything like that. I think it's important for people to know that because I talk about how it was lonely going through cancer because not a lot of people at 28 have gone through cancer. So I want people to read this who haven't gone through it and be like, I can relate to a lot of this, even though our struggles are different. Because us as humans, our struggles are the same in a lot of ways, right? The variables are different, but we still struggle with the same emotion as we go through those things. Stress, anxiety, fear. On the opposite end of the spectrum, joy, love. It's all the same. It's just different variables that we go through to get us there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And really, truly, I wouldn't even say that it's a book about cancer. I mean, to me, what I saw is a book about, again, the human condition and your journey and all of our journey, just experiencing life, the challenges, the ups and the downs. And it's a man's search for meaning. It's your search for meaning. Either, whether you realize that through the process or not, it's like all of those things kind of led you to this point here now. And I think it all had to happen, maybe to some degree. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I said that too, man. It all did have to happen. The universe puts signs into your life and does things to you for a reason. And once you start to pay attention to those, you will start to lead yourself in the right path. In my opinion, life opens itself up. Life does start to open up for you when you start to pay attention, man. And I talk about that a lot because I believe it's so true. We hold on to a lot in our brain. Damn, I wish that relationship went a different way. I wish that my family was a different way. I wish that the person that I love was a different way. We just hold on to so much, jealousy and anger, regret, negativity around situations that we can't be open and present to what life is trying to show us in the moment. So I talk about that and how life showed me exactly what it wanted me to do at that time because I was finally paying attention to the signs. So that, what I would say, as far as love, what love did for me was love allowed me to forgive myself and love allowed me to let go. And so that's, search for yourself. I think the searching for yourself starts with loving yourself and loving others and letting the love in. And that's how you're ultimately able to open your eyes and find yourself, in my opinion.
I mean, some might even say, I might even say that that was a cure for your cancer.
Yeah.
Or that was a big part of your cure.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that, definitely the negativity and stress and stuff. I mean, there's scientific studies that show that stress can literally cause physical impairments and conditions in your body. Stress your heart out, stress your, I mean, you can have heart attacks because of stress, anxiety, and things like that. So I truly do believe the stress and anxiety that I was carrying around contributed to some of the physical conditions. Not that it caused my cancer necessarily 100%, but just caused some of the illness and sickness that I was feeling inside of my body. So mentally, I was killing myself, for everything that I did. Yeah, man. So, what surprised you the most about the story?
Surprised me the most about the story. Um, I guess I would say just the character development. I guess because we watch movies and we read books, fiction books. It's like or nonfiction. I guess it's kind of linear. It's like there's a challenge, there's a solution, and then everyone ends up happily ever after. And not saying that this didn't end up happily ever after, but I guess it's just the ups and the downs. When I thought that, okay, there's the resolution, that's going to be it. It's almost like it took a turn and it went back down. And again, I think that's just the human condition as we kind of go up. It's not this linear journey, just straight up, from here to here. It's like there's this up and there's this down and there's this up. And that's what's so, I guess, captivating about the book is that, you go through this thing and you think, oh my God, he's made it, he's gotten through, and this is kind of closing in on the end here, and then it just like takes a turn down. You're like, oh my God, what just happened? Joe, what are you doing? And then you see, and then as you start to grow as a character, as a person, it kind of takes another turn back around to the top, and you're like, yes, like, oh, he's learning, he's getting better, he's growing, and then kind of, and then again, it's kind of what I see in my life. I think that's what we all see in our lives. It's never just a linear progression. It's there's an up and there's a down and there's an up and there's a down. So I really appreciated that.
Yeah. Whenever you feel like you can't get any lower, trust me, you can. There's always more to rock bottom, and I don't say that to be negative or to scare people. I say that because a lot of people think that you can't get lower, and they don't do anything to change it because they're like, well, things are just going to go up from here. And if you don't change the things that you're doing, you can go lower. You can continue to just dig a hole in your life. And so it really starts with you making the changes in your life and doing the necessary things. And you'll see in the book that it starts with an evolution of a mindset. So I do little things to start changing. So I'm still screwing up and I'm still hitting those rocky hills, right? But eventually I change a little bit more and change a little bit more until you get to the version of who I am now, which is not perfect. I still have ups and downs, but it's a lot more of an upward path because of the negativity that I've cleared out of my brain. But my life is not perfect. No one's life is perfect. Unfortunately, I actually put this in the book, and unfortunately, I still have to deal with negative thoughts and emotion, unfortunately. So, yeah.
But I also, too, have very much appreciated the authenticity and how genuine you were and how open you were. And like, I think that was such an amazing thing because that's what allows people to open up. And I think that authenticity, it truly gives other people permission to do the same around you. And that's the energy that you put off. That's the energy that the book gives out too, man. As you read it, and realize absolutely like the kind of person you are. And I think that opens up other people to doing the same and being themselves.
Absolutely. I think, for me, I want people, the whole idea is that being authentically yourself can unlock your brain, right? Because you are thinking clearly, you aren't holding on to, you aren't holding on to self-conscious feelings, right? Like, are people impressed with what I'm doing? Do people like what I'm doing, right? You're doing what makes you feel good. And at the end of the day, that's going to unlock things for you. And so there's a lot of elements that I talk about in order for you to be able to be your authentic self, like what that means and why you're able to do that in these certain environments. But that's the key, man. And so I want people to see that this book is authentically me, dude. It's my personality is in it, all the way. I make a lot of jokes. It's crude at times, because I'm crude at times. Man, it's just authentically me, and I tried my best to portray that to you all, because after you read it, I want you to think, how can I portray myself as authentically me? To people living a life with love. How would you say you need to show up every day in order to live a life with love?
You don't know anybody, right? You can't judge somebody like, you don't know what somebody has going on internally. You don't know what somebody has going on in their lives. You don't know what somebody's going through. So even like daily interactions, when you're in traffic and, someone's just not driving the speed at which you want them to be driving, and you're fucking honking and throwing epithets and all this, stuff at them. And, what if that was your grandmother? What if that was something? I mean, what if that's somebody, is, they're not driving fast, maybe they're bawling their eyes out because they got cancer, they got something going on. I think it's just, understanding that all of us as humans are living out this very similar experience, this very same journey. Like, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and we just can't, just going through daily life, just understanding that we all have shit going on. We're all just human. We're all going through this path and this journey together, and just try not to take anything too serious. Try not to, let anything get you so upset, especially things that we don't have any control over. So much we just don't have any control over. I'd say living a life with love is that exact sentence. It's just, understanding, even in the thick of it, when you have those negative thoughts or you're going through a negative experience and you don't feel good, just understanding that we're not here for very long. We don't know what other people have going on, and just, I guess living by grace, giving grace to other people at a high level.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that, because one of the big parts that I talk about in the book is cultivating and fostering love in your life, and how you do that, right? You do that by bringing love to the forefront, and that's in every decision that you make. When somebody cuts you off in traffic or whatever, you decide in that moment, is the response to this screaming and flipping them off and making this the biggest deal in the world, or is it just saying, you know what, that person might be going through something and I'm just going to show love to them no matter what, right?
Yeah.
And it's just bringing it to the forefront. You never know what somebody's going through, right? So just show them love anyways, right? Just show them love, and then if they don't show you love back, then you know what I mean, that's okay, because some people are going through things that we can't comprehend, but if you do just try to show up in the best ways for people out of a place of love, right, and you try to show them that, 9 times out of 10 you will receive blessings back, and you will receive love back, because most people are good people at their core. There are people that are going to try to take advantage of you in life, that are going to try to screw you over. I've been around these people. I know these people. But at this point in my life, I come to people out of my shell, and if they give me reasons, I go back in. Whereas before, I would go to people in my shell, and they would have to break me open for me to come out. And I think flipping that mindset, cultivating and fostering love in your life and bringing it to the forefront, living by grace, everything that you said is exactly right. It's a huge part of living a life of love.
Yeah. And even people that, intentionally like do you harm or try to do you harm, just knowing that person is hurt inside. They're a hurt person, and their hate or whatever that they're taking out on you is just a direct reflection of how they feel on the inside. And honestly, feeling not sorry for that person, but understanding it and giving that person grace. And like Jesus says, and turn the other cheek. It's like, if someone steals your coat, give them or steals your shirt, give them also your coat.
Yeah.
If someone steals from you, give them more, because they need it. It just, everyone's going through shit. Everyone's got just having grace, I guess, is probably the biggest lesson.
And I don't want to make excuses for anyone that does bad things in life, but some people have only been taught a certain way, and so for them serving love might be, whatever they can do to bring money into their pockets to support their family, because that's what they've been taught that love is, right? And so they might be serving love in the way that they've been taught. And that doesn't excuse what they're doing, but the point that I'm getting at is that you just never know what somebody's intention or mindset is either, And so you should just approach situations as if, you want to give as much love to the situation as possible, and 9 times out of 10 you will receive that love back. Sometimes you won't, and that's okay. That's life, right? And that's no reason for you to not put yourself out there anymore, which for so long is what I did. I got screwed over a couple times, and I just didn't put myself out there anymore, and didn't put myself out there in love, and I was holding myself back and holding my life back because of it. It's a big lesson to learn. It's something that I hope people do learn after they read this book. All right, beautiful. I just wanted to shout out this park really quick before I get into the last question. I'm going to look it up because it's beautiful. Am I pronounce this right? Cotonchobee Park. Does that have you pronounce it?
Cotonchobee. Yeah, I would say so. On the Riverwalk, say Cotonchobee Park on the Riverwalk.
Cotonchobee Park on the Riverwalk. This is a beautiful setting. Me and Hunter have been hanging out. We just got tacos. It's just a beautiful night, a night filled with love. So I'm going to talk my last question. Who do you think this book will reach and impact the most? And this is a special question because this book was written to impact people. So I will give the floor to Hunter.
Um, I think this has a place for everyone. I'd say who this would impact the most. And I've certainly been there. I think a lot of us have been there in different parts of our lives, but certainly people that maybe have kind of lost hope, in that, or maybe they've been um, dealt a bad hand, or they have just given up hope and given up love, and just said, "Hey, that's not for me." And kind of fuck the world, kind of people. I've certainly been at a point in my life where I was like, "Fuck the world, fuck all this, fuck love." So I think for those people may not be receptive at the moment. So I think it's hard when you're going through something like that to accept a message like this. But I think certainly people like that would definitely get the biggest benefit out of a story like this, or even somebody who's going through the exact scenario, who's going through cancer. Um, I think would be a huge help. For this that message and the energy that it brings. I think would be invaluable.
I actually mentioned in the book too, I talk about how this book is not going to be for everyone. That my personality, my style, and everything might not resonate with every single person, but that it's going to spark a light in some people, and that they will then say, oh shit, there is a path to finding love, to finding this. And maybe they go find something else that helps them find their path that's different than my book, our book. But ultimately, that I want this book to spark conversation and to spark ideas in people's heads and say, wow, this is something that's possible. So it's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank Hunter for coming out and doing this with me. He's the first person I've ever interviewed, so take it easy on us. He's a natural. Look at him, dude. He looks like Miles Teller.
I don't think. I think this is my first time ever being interviewed. So.
All right. Well, I love you all. Peace.
Peace.